Hi, I'm Earl Phillip. I'm VP Business Development Sales for Yield Biogas Solutions.
From agricultural residuals to food waste, how the digester technologies available on the market change depending on the feedstock?
Well, there's several considerations when you're moving from an agricultural feedstock base to a food waste. Number one, with food waste, you're going to bring contaminants into your digester. You need to be able to deal with both the floating contaminants, which are the light plastics, as well as the gritty matter, and that's broken up packaging, hard plastics, eggshells, bones, etc., those things. We also have to take into consideration, again, this depends on the local legislation or regulations, but pasteurization is often a requirement if you're starting to bring in post-consumer food waste. And that can be accomplished in a number of ways. We've done several retrofit projects now on farm-based ADs to take them and upgrade them to the point where they're able to deal with the contaminants, both the floating and the sinking, as well as pasteurizing the product so that the digestate can then be land applied afterwards.
What considerations has to be done in order to choose the right digester?
Well, I think it's a different standard agricultural AD tanks are built very large, and they're built with paddle mixers and usually soft-topped roofs. In order to effectively take out the grit and the light plastics, there's some additional equipment required. Typically, we go with a solid roof digester. We store the gas on a digestate storage facility after the fact. We usually use a solid roof to mount our motors for our scraping systems, which is essential to make sure that your grit that accumulates and sediments over the time of the digestion actually gets removed from the tank. Otherwise, within 2-3 years, you can have over 50% of the volume of your tank gritted up and consumed by a compacted grit on the base of the digester. Yes, the organics market in California is a very fluid, dynamic marketplace right now, especially with some of the recent AB 1826 having to make sure the commercial entities remove the organics from the landfill. There's several considerations for municipalities and developers looking to bring into this market AD technology. First and foremost, they have to be able to meet the requirements, ensuring that you can divert the organics. A lot of them are looking at either having curbside bins for an additional bin at the curb for the residents, and do what they call source-separated collection. That's a very expensive process. It requires additional vehicles on the road or collection vehicles. It requires a lot of education effort to the public. We were sometimes very hesitant to participate in yet a new program that the government is inflicting on them. So the other way is to basically look at taking black bag garbage, which is just the standard MSW, running it through some kind of a MRF system, creating like a 2-inch minus fraction, which has the predominant amount of organics in it. Then we would then treat that with a system, another AD, with an AD technology that could take that highly contaminated, highly solid material into the process, remove and digest all of the organics that are held in that fraction, and then on the back end, push out a completely digested material. So the organic fraction has been converted to biogas. The grit, the glass, the bones, all the other plastic and everything else are then pushed out. The real challenge for the market is what to do with that back end material. Yeah. And there's been lots of suggestions in other markets where thermal conversion is allowed. They're looking at those types of solutions. California, a little more problematic, but it's such a large market, and because if they're going to meet their 75% diversion goal, they have to build between 30 and 100 additional AD plants or compost facilities over the next 10 years. So it's going to be a big challenge for the industry, for government, and for the residents as well.